Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Stanley Town Council Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting. It's being held here at the Greenhouse on Tuesday, the 8th of July. We're being live streamed, and obviously that will be available to watch whenever anybody wants to watch it. If we can move on to the agenda and do some housekeeping. Can you please ensure that your mobile phones are set to silent or switched off? If there is a fire alarm, it is not a drill, and we will need to leave the building, obviously by the nearest exits. And can we move on to number 2, which is apologies for absence.
I've received one apology, Chair, from Sean Gibson.
Sean, give a reason at all?
Work commitments.
Is everybody happy to do that? If we can move on to number 3, declarations of interest, anything that is on this agenda. I will put forward that I will be leaving when we go to the part B. So number 4, do we have any announcements from the chair? I don't have any announcements.
And nothing from anything on behalf of Martin.
Okay, so there's nothing from myself and nothing from Anne or the Chief Officer. So we move on to public participation. We don't have any members of the public present this evening, and I'm not aware that we have any questions at all.
No, we've not received any questions from the public.
Okay, so we'll move on to item 6, which is confirmation of the minutes from the previous Finance and General Purposes Committee held on the 10th of June 2025, attachment A. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to bring to the attention?
Just move that they accept that, please.
Does anybody else agree with that? We move on to item 7 on the agenda, which is the accounts for payment and bank reconciliation. Obviously, they are attachments B, C, and D, and they are for May 2025. Anybody have any questions?
Just from my understanding, can I just ask, because there's some invoice dates on here going back to 2024, is that because they've just been presented to us now, but that's the invoice date that's come in? Or?
Yes, I have.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Does anybody else have any? Yes,
On the payments, number 36, the one for Junction of £13,575 for annual subscription. What was he saying,
Chair, do you want me to check this? Chair?
yes, please.
David and I can't remember if you were at the meeting. It was the new food bank called the Junction that we
Right.
subscribe to, where we're going to ask ourselves and our stakeholders to make, they can do an order every week for the surplus food and goods for Amazon. Yes.
So that would be what we use the multi-bank.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably a day
Yeah,
else.
it's the name,
Yeah.
Anybody else got any other queries or questions? No, so obviously the committee is requested to consider the attached and approve the payments and accounts for May 2025 and note the bank reconciliations for May 2025. Do we have a second there?
I'll second it.
Is everybody else happy to approve number 1 and number 2? Okay, we move on to number 8, which is the insurance quote. Members are requested to approve the annual insurance renewal covering the period of the 16th of the 7th, 25 to the 15th of the 7th, 26 at £8,695.04.
Right. Do we know where the insurer is at the minute? Because there's no attachment or anything.
I know, apologies that that wasn't attached. So we currently use Zurich, which we have done for the last 5 or 6 years.
Right.
I also this year got another quote from another company who couldn't compete.
Right.
So obviously this is higher than previous years because we've purchased some new vehicles on the allotment side, so car insurance element has gone up.
Right, okay, thank you, because that was the next question. How long would it? Thank you.
Just for my own benefit, is this car insurance and other insurances
Yes.
all rolled into one policy?
So it covers the building, the contents, and we have building for St Joseph's House. And there's obviously a liability.
So did I,
Yes,
So it's basically everything rolled into,
everything,
okay.
in good, definitely remain.
Yeah, no, sorry.
If we've got insurance through the vehicles and the allowance, it comes up for insurance through Zurich again for the van. Another 130 quid.
So the insurance that you can see on payments, on the payment listings, that's because obviously we took out that partway through the year. So whereas it's now incorporated into the annual figure for the following year.
Okay, so are we happy to approve, members to approve the annual insurance?
Yes.
Do we need a proposal to second it? Please.
Second, that's true.
Let's continue. Yeah, and everybody else is happy to approve the?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we move on to item 9, which is members' initiative fund, attachment E. The members' initiative fund, obviously, any previous councillors had monies that were spent last year. There is some that have rolled over, and we have one, before we move on to item 10, which we'll discuss in more detail. We have one myth for people to have a look at and to consider for the application to go through, and it's for the miners' gala, and it's for the banners at Anfield Plain. Has everybody read the paperwork with attachment E?
Yeah.
So are we happy for that to go through? Sorry, Liz.
Yes, because it's part of our heritage, being a mining community, and to take the banner from the villages down to Durham for miners for the big meeting is something we should keep doing, and it's in our heritage, it's from a mining village.
Yeah. So do I have a, so you're happy to move that?
Yeah.
Have you got a
I'll
second for
send
that?
it, yeah.
So that'd be, Councillor Berry, Mr. Stewart, you can call the name. Can't we? Okay, so that's going through, and everybody else happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we move on to item 10, which is some remaining funds that we had. So it's from the Members Initiative Fund. It's an update. And Alan's going to give us a quick update on that.
Thank you, Chair.
It's attached to there.
Yeah. So for those councillors who weren't around last year, at the budget setting last year, we awarded £20,000 for the Members Initiative Fund, which give each councillor £1,000 to spend within their ward, or across the parish as a whole. And as a result of that, we supported several good causes within the wards. Now, there is an element of £4,050 that remains unallocated. So this is previous councillors who haven't got round to using the money. So what we agreed last year when we rolled the Members Initiative Fund out was any unspent money would still go to that particular ward, regardless of, whoever was the new councillor in those wards. So what I'm kind of proposing to do after the meeting is send an email out to all councillors, but in particular to the councillors in the wards where the money's left, and proposing, based on the amount of money what's left, that will be divided by the number of councillors within that ward, to use specifically, towards a good cause. So you could either, if you are one of those councillors, you could use it individually, or you could group together and put more money into supporting something a little bit bigger. So what I'll do is so this basically paper was just to give you an update that the money was there, and obviously it's there to be used. And I'll just follow that up with an email after the meeting, to let all the councillors know it's available.
As far as I was aware, I know I spent my money,
Yes, you did.
but Dean Fall didn't spend any.
A lot of the councillors put theirs together.
I don't think Dean put any.
I think Dean funded the
Beamish.
Beamish
Yeah,
one. It was a last minute thing, he
Yes,
allocated all of his money to it.
Yes. Beamish.
So does this happen every year?
No, this is the first time we've had the Members Initiative Fund in the 6 years I've been here. But previous, they did have the Members Initiative Fund as a regular item. Obviously, at budget setting, it depends on where we allocate the budget and if there's any money that we can use to support it. So when we come to discuss the budget for next year, that will be something that your councils will want to decide whether you want to continue with it. Have we got the money to fund it? Do we have to increase the precept to fund it? How are we going to fund it? So that'll be a discussion at the budget workshop, whether we continue it or not.
So obviously it's been recommended that members note it, and obviously Anne has said that she will send out to the different wards and the ward councillors, and obviously the monthly amount that they're going to have, etc.
Yeah.
So are we all happy to note that?
Yeah.
So we're now to number 11, which is the date and time and venue of the next meeting, which we've got for Thursday, the 9th of September, because we don't have finance in August at 6:30, and it's proposed to be at the greenhouse. And obviously I would assume with that one that we will probably start going forward to getting ready to start the full budget workshops, etc. At that point when we've had this meeting.
Can I just make a point?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Can whoever's organising the committees to have 3 committees today, tomorrow and Thursday, and it will be better planned, because 3 nights out of, we're all volunteers here. Can use officers, get together and set a full year's committee meetings, so we know when the group coming. Because
And what we do with the full council and the finance and general purposes, they are set within our regulations. And normally the events, the policy and the allotments is agreed on with that committee at the time, but yeah, definitely understand what you're saying there.
Okay. So we now move to the exclusion of the press and public, to resolve that under the Public Bodies Act of 1960, that the public and representatives of the press and broadcast media be excluded from this meeting through consideration of the following items of business, as publicity would be prejudicial to the public interest due to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted. So we can close the meeting. Thank you.